Alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Can somebody online just let me know that they can hear me loud and clear? Alrighty. Thank you, Laura. So, today we're going to talk about mailing lists. A couple things I want to go over for everyone. If they don't know, the office does do just listed and just sold postcards for each and every one of you that get a listing over $200,000. We send that out. Do it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we send 25 just listed out automatically through Express Docs. They pick who it goes to. I believe it's just the 25 closest to the address. They send you a postcard as well. Usually comes here to the office, so that'll be in your mailbox. You've never got one?
No.
That means that you've never logged into Express Docs.
That's probably accurate,
Okay.
Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So there's another good point. If you have no idea that we did this, you need to log in through Express Docs. Now, they still got sent out.
Right, but
We
I
still
just didn't
send-
get one.
Correct.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that.
Because
Okay.
I've never had anybody tell me either that my neighbor got one or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah, because like I've had agents that never go on,
and they don't.
and then they don't show up there.
Okay.
On,
All right. So, first and foremost, make sure you get on Express Docs. And for all you do is the first time is literally through 21 Online.
Okay.
Yeah, if you got your computer out, do this right now.
Do it right now.
Go to 21 Online. Tom, I'm using yours because I don't remember my password.
Seems to be a theme lately.
I know. I haven't figured. I haven't remembered this one anymore since I changed it. So,
I think I know it.
well, I don't need it.
I think it's a
Saved.
save one.
And then up here in the search bar, Express is XPRESS, just so you know. Is it gonna, yeah, okay. You gotta spell it all out, Express Docs. Click on that. We should have done it with your account on this screen so everybody could see it, but
Could have.
too late.
Because this is still trying to load. Okay, there it goes.
They won't see that.
Yeah, you guys are not gonna see this. You don't have the office privilege. You know what, guys? I'm sorry. Tom, will you
Yeah.
get that? I meant to do that.
Did
this
you just
morning.
click on the first thing when it opened? Well, I mean, now it's. But the top one that said Express Docs?
Correct.
Okay.
Right. So there is literally what you have to do. You just have to confirm that that stuff is you. So, Joy, have you gotten into Express Docs yet ever? Jen, are you doing it now? Lindsay, have you done it? Okay. Brittany?
Doing it now.
Okay. Good deal. So, it literally, once you get to the screen that I had previously, actually, once you get to this screen, you're good. But ultimately, when you click Express Docs, we just did it with Rachel's, it's just going to ask you, is this information correct? And Tom, the number is?
1 second.
Wait, when you went into C21, and then I wasn't paying attention, you went to C21 and then,
You type in the search box Express Docs.
Yeah, so. From the dashboard here, you just have to type in XPRESSDOCS, and then you're going to see it come up right there.
You can also find it in the productivity hub as well. All right, what's the meeting ID?
The meeting ID is 260-696-294. So, now that everybody knows that they need to go into log into Express Docs once, it's also where you can change your picture, edit your profile, all of that stuff. When we send out postcards, the default template that we've done is picture in the top left corner if you have a picture. If you don't have a picture, then it's not going to be there. The verbiage that's used is the verbiage directly pulled from MLS. So what you write in MLS is going to be what gets thrown on that postcard. We can change that and you can make it into bios or testimonials or things like that. We just need to know, because our default is going to be how they make it default.
And yeah,
Primary picture of on the front of the postcard, primary picture of MLS is going to be the photo on the postcard.
we switch it out with like a standard text.
So on our actual profile for C21, that's where we need to add our photo.
Correct.
I don't have-
And I can put it into Dash as well, and it'll syndicate through everything. So if you've got a picture,
Yeah,
we'll put
well,
it in
Tom
there.
has our
Let me see
new,
Yeah.
Yes.
Do we think it's this or through?
Pretty sure mine's already in there.
So you can do your bio and your profile, but it's best if you send it to me. So I put it in or Tom, because when we put it into Dash, it goes to everything Century 21 related.
And
Have now says that's 34, so I'm gonna change that. I'm pushing 34.
You're not 34?
um,
I don't know where.
Yeah, we can. If we change it into Dash, it syndicates throughout. So that's the best place to change it.
and Express Docs does have its own. So
So this is one of the postcards. This is actually Nilda's. So again, primary picture, and I'm sorry for the people online, you don't get to see it. Primary picture on the front says new listing, Century 21 JW Morton, the bottom left-hand corner, and the address across the bottom there. On the back side, again, agent picture as long as we have it, agent name and phone number and email all get put right there. And then this says new listing, don't miss your window to sell, call Century 21 agent now to find out how much your home is worth. Your free home evaluation is one call away. Century 21 JW Morton is the best real estate agency in Citrus County. We list your house on its own website in 82 plus countries with the highest sales volume in Citrus County. We will succeed in helping you with your real estate needs. So that one is a default
It's pretty nice.
that we put in.
oh, and I will say your Express Docs account is slightly different from like your 21 Online account. So basically, on like 99% of the accounts, I have to change the phone number from the office number to the personal number every single time, and it's a mess because like I have to find it and then make sure it goes in right, because sometimes Express Docs doesn't register when you type. So if you can go into Express Docs, hit on your profile, and then it'll say, you know, your name, phone number, and then it says like title 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Like just please make sure that all that information is how you like it. And if you want to pull it up on Express Docs, I can show you. It's right there, the business cards, etc. Just hit continue in the middle. Do the user volume. Then on the top right, you hit profile.
so what are we putting there? Our phone number, right?
Well,
Yeah.
so like here it says general information. You want to make sure that stuff is, and like, so Tom, you got your
Correct.
other one in here.
The one that is the one that says user contact information. If you hit edit on that one,
Yeah.
then you
You get all these
yeah.
drop
And
downs.
technically, like, so mine's not even updated, so I should probably update my own as well. And then if you, for instance, you see line 2, 3, 4 are empty, that's okay. It's not like you'll see my name, 3 empty lines, and then my, well, in this case, the office phone number. It'll just, you know, it'll skip those lines. But just try to make sure that you have a line that has your number and your email. And then if you want the office phone number, I would recommend putting like a C in front of your cell and an O in front of your office number. And then you also have the manage headshots button, and that's where you can put in your headshot so that I don't have to find it online and put it in every single time.
But that doesn't, if you do it on Dash, it doesn't put it there automatically.
No,
Correct.
Express Docs is like its own.
Okay, so I need
thing.
to put
The
mine
user
in.
it'll get the general information, I think,
Yeah.
but it doesn't get the user contact.
Okay.
So you just want to make sure you're, and that's also, guys, where you can manage your headshot. You can put your headshot in. If you have the picture, please, by all means, do so. And that way it's done.
Makes it a lot easier for me.
Any questions on Express Docs? A couple of things that I'll go over real quick as well while we're doing it. There are some agents that want to, instead of doing 25, they want to do 100, and that's fine. And we'll even credit you back 24.83. We'll credit you back $24.83 if you say, hey, I just want to do 100 all at once. You're going to go on here. And we'll show you how to do it. Probably not this class, but you can go in, buy your 100, get them mailed out, and you're going to get a check back from us for $24.83 every time you do it. That's totally up to you. I have agents that do that, and then obviously we have agents that just say, you guys handle it, manage it, and be done with it. What I won't do though, because it's an accounting nightmare, is order 100 for you and then try and figure out, all right, now you're going to owe me $63.72 because you got 100 and we pay for 25. But I'm not playing like that. That's just too much of a nightmare. So if you want to do more than 25, it's on you. We'll give you a check for $24.83. Good on that. Express Docs, just so you guys know too what it is, you have another platform that you can see where you can make marketing materials and all that stuff. Again, flyers and all of that, I would stick with Moxie. I think it just is the one-stop shop place. But this is currently where we do our postcards. With the thought in mind, I'm pretty sure that Moxie is going to take over this whole platform at some point as well. I think Express Docs will be sunsetted next year.
Yeah. They don't have the postcard system in Moxie yet, though. I don't
Right.
think so. They have to add that.
Yeah, and I think they will. I think it's kind of part of the partnership is to get rid of all these third, fourth, fifth partners that they have. All right, we good on Express Docs? Everybody's good there? Now we're gonna hop over to the property appraisers, and we're gonna talk about mailing lists. I'm gonna show you how to basically get the mailing list, and then I'm actually gonna show you how to put it into Word, do the labels, directly onto postcards, whatever, and however we're gonna do it. So the first thing that I have to tell everybody is if you look up a specific address on the property appraiser, 1645 Main, and you have this selected and you go to the map, you no longer have the ability to select other properties to do your mailing list because I am specifically searched and selected on 1645 West Main Street. So I don't have the tools up here. So if I go to the map search from the home screen, instead of typing in an address, I just go straight to a map search. You're going to see I have a lot more options up here. These two are my select and my deselect tools. I don't have a specific address already selected, and that's why it gives me the ability to select multiple properties now. So we can zoom into the area that we want. Just picking a random area right now. We can use our little select tool. It's that blob looking thing there. And when you click it, you have the option to do a freehand draw, point and click on each property, draw a box where the line is not included in the selection, draw a box or a polygon where the line is included, and then also you have just a straight line tool. So I usually use the freehand one. It's the first one down, and then you literally just point and click and start drawing your shape of what properties you want to select. Now it's selected.
Are you recording?
I am.
Okay, thanks.
I have selected 30 properties. So I now have 30 alt keys here. If you say, whoa, I don't need that one, not part of my deal, you can go over here to the unselect tool and you have pretty much the same options, and you can just draw your circle around the one you don't want, and it takes it away. Sometimes. You just got to play with it a little bit. Everybody see how that works, selecting and unselecting those properties? Get on that, Josh? Okay.
Pretty neat, actually.
Yep. For a mailing list, it has to be under 500. It can't produce the mailing list because the mailing list switches over to Excel. If you're over 500, it won't do it for you. So just keep in mind, look at this number over here and keep it below 500. Now, we have blanketly selected properties here. There is single family, commercial, vacant land, mobile home. I mean, we've got everything. So again, if you're doing a blanket mail out and you're saying, I want to blanket mail out to this area, that's the way you would do it. And you'd literally just get everything. But if you want to be specific and you want to say, hey, I only want single family homes, I'm going to get a little bigger of a sample size to show you guys how we can do this. I'm going to show you a couple different ways, but the first one is just with the map, and instead of hitting mailing list over here and already jumping to the mailing list, we're going to hit attribute export, then hit go. If I hit view current list, it'll give me the thing as well. So yeah, I'm going to hit view current list first. I'm going to show you this way first because it's the easiest.
Yeah.
And now we can organize by PC code. What is or where? What, so basically it stands for parcel code, but I'm going to show you, I'm going to open up another tab because I don't want to lose this. On the home page of the property appraisers, if you go over here to data downloads, one of the files is land or is property class codes right here. So you're going to see zeros is vacant residential, 0-100 single family residential, 0-200 mobile homes, 0-300 multifamily, 0-100. So we now know what each parcel code means. So again, if I just want single family residential, I didn't see him come in here, Deanna, if you're looking for him. We're going to go back to our list here, and I don't want to check any of the zeros because that's vacant land, but I would start here and I would check all my 0-100s. And when I get to the next page, I can actually hit select page all because they're all 0-100s. Same thing with this page. And then I go to page 4. And I just want that first one right there. Make sense to everybody? Now that I have just my single family selected, I'm going to hit the mailing list and hit go.
There's also, if you have like a really big one, there's also a different way.
I'm going to show them the search thing, the advanced search.
I know, but also you can still do the attribute export and then in Excel, just,
Yeah, you showed me how to do that
yeah,
way.
just in Excel,
Right.
put it there and then just get rid of everything else.
Right. That was how I was going to show it first, but I feel like this
But
is
if you have like
easier
500,
first.
it's hard to just go through all the pages and select, so.
Right.
that's-
But if we look now, leave me alone. We have a mailing list. We have alt key owner, mailing address, 1, 2, 3. So when I'm doing my labels, I don't need the alt key. So I can select this, delete. Now I have owner's names, mailing address, mailing address, mailing address. Mailing address 2 is used if it's out of the country. My general rule of thumb is I don't feel like paying for the postage for out of country. Now, I may at some point say, you know what, I just want to do an out of country mailing and it'll be geared towards a specific client. And again, you know, Tom is Dutch, speaks Dutch. He may say, hey, I want to target some out of country Dutch people. So you have that ability, but my general rule of thumb is I'm going to scroll through here. Nothing is out of country, so I can go ahead and get rid of mailing address 2 as well, that column. I'm going to show you, here's my tech tip of the day. I personally, and Judy actually is the one that showed me this, so thank you, Judy. I hate that it does last name, first name, middle initial. And when you do the labels or anything, it's going to be last name, first name. It drives me nuts. I don't think it looks good. So first thing we can do, one, I want to keep my column 1 as the header. I don't want to lose that. So there's a couple of places that you can do to lock that in. I think it's on data, right? Yeah, text columns. So if you go in Excel and you select the data line, and right here it says text to columns, we can break up each column, so we can now make it a column for last name, a column for first name, and a column for the middle initial. And that's using this text to columns feature. So I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to select this column here, data, text to columns.
You have to add in blank cells first.
Oh, good call. Tom did remind me. Before we do that, you have to create the columns for the names. So we know we're going to need to insert some blank columns.
I usually do like 6.
Yeah. You always want to make sure you get enough, because we're going to do it by a space. So if there's like juniors and seconds and thirds and fourths and all that stuff, give yourself extra room here. But we're going to break this column into multiple columns. We want a last name, a first name, a middle initial column. So data, text to columns. This wizard thing pops up. And so it's going to say we want it to go here. We want it by a space. So every time there's a space in one of these names, it's going to move it to a new column.
Judy taught you that?
Judy taught me this, yeah.
Hey, Judy.
Yep.
I use these reports for careers roofing all the time, and now it drives me crazy.
Correct.
It has last name first.
Yep, yep.
Hate it.
So now we're going to hit finish. And if I have enough columns here, it'll work. It may give me an error and say, hey, you need more. So we're going to see. So it worked. So now look, I have my last name column, my first name column, and my middle initial. And again, if there was a fourth one or a fifth one, whatever, we would do it. Now, you want to make sure you rename your stuff up here, so when you do your mailing list, you know what it is. So we changed this to last name, this to first name. I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of the middle initial. Don't need it, or the middle name. And we'll see, we've got a couple juniors, a third. For this purpose, I'm going to get rid of it to show you guys, and then I'm going to get rid of my blank column here too.
And I always check for LLCs too.
Right.
Stuff like that.
Looks like we got a bunch of names here, so we're good. But yeah, you might have LLCs, company names, anything like, and again, those are the ones that may take 10 columns, because if it's Wayne Bueller Construction, Roofing, Plumbing, LLC, you got a lot of spaces there. But now we have the list the way that we want it to look. We're happy with that. Everybody good so far on how we've just done all that? So now I need to save this list. This is my mailing list. So file, save as. I'm saving it in documents under Wayne mailing list. That's now done. So the next part is we want to put it onto label. I'm going to show you how to do labels first, and then we're going to put it directly onto a postcard, because we have the ability to do either one, but we're going to start with labels. Labels are created in Microsoft Word. So you do have to jump from Excel over to Word.
Close out the Excel.
Do you have to?
Yeah, otherwise it's gonna make you do like a read-only copy.
It works with the read only though, because I never close. I don't think I ever closed mine out.
It'll literally not let you not do it.
Really?
No.
So up here we have the word mailings. You want to click that mailings, and then you're going to see start mail merge, and one of the options is labels. So that's what we're going to click. Now, here's the part that you do once and then it's done. Your label vendor is Avery US Letter, Avery US Letter, this one right here. And your product number is 5160. That's our label packages that we buy. They're Avery US letter, and then you go to 5160 here. That has the correct height, width, and number of labels per sheet. Hit OK. It now formats the page the way we want it. The next step, everybody good? We're all. The next step is going to be select recipients. And we're going to hit use an existing list because I have that Excel sheet saved already. So we're going to hit use existing list. And then I just need to go to my documents, and there is Wayne mailing list. Now all of this stuff on the right opens up. The one that we're using is the insert merge field. So if I hit the drop down here, there is everything that was on my Excel sheet, my columns. So I can do first name, space, last name, enter, mailing address 1, enter, mailing address 3. Just made my label. Now, I personally like to highlight once I get done here, go back to the paragraph. I don't like the big spacing, so I do single and check that box, and then I also center it to the label. I like it to look like that. Again, that's totally preference. I just like it centered. Then once you get it the way that you want it to look, you go back to mailings. If you hit update labels, it's going to make everything that way. And now I can hit preview results. And there are my labels. I always hit check for errors because it can remove duplicates and spaces and all that stuff. So if you hit check for errors and I use the middle one, complete the merge, pause and report to each error as it occurs, just so it'll let me know. And now I have my 2-page sheet. I can now print out on the printer to my labels. That makes sense?
Mhm.
Now, with that being said, we will do this for you, but if you need it done yesterday and you come to me or Tom or Debbie or Doreen and you say, I need this done right now, and I'm in the middle of closing checks, he's in the middle of doing something, sorry, it's not going to be, we're going to drop everything and get your labels done. So typically, Debbie has time over the weekends, so it can always get done over the weekends. But I wanted you guys to have the knowledge of how to do this stuff yourself. If you're in a pinch or you're really needing to get something out, you know how to do it. So we just did it on the labels. Let's just say you have postcards that you've designed. They're 5x7.
4x6.
I don't want to do 4x6s. 5x7 is the postcard size that we're going to work. I'm going to show you how to do it on that for that. I'm going to close this out. We're going to start from scratch so you can see it. Sorry, I guess I should have told you this.
No, that's okay.
So the list is still the same. The way we get the mailing list through Excel property appraisals, all that stuff is the same. It's just we're not doing labels anymore. We're doing it directly onto a postcard. So we're starting with a blank document in Word. And the first thing that we need to do is we need to go to layout and we need to change our size because this is currently a standard piece of paper to our postcard size. So right over here it says size. Now you can try and find it, but if you hit more paper sizes, it lets you type it in automatically here. So we've got our width and our height. Oh, I did that the wrong way.
Yeah.
You can just change it to landscape then.
Yeah, it's okay. There's our 5x7 custom size. So once I hit OK, you're going to see, boom. I now have my postcard, my 5x7 postcard on the screen. So now I know if I put any writing right here, it's going to print it right there on the postcard. We're not trying to figure out, hey, it's letter to postcard, scaling, blah, 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 blah. So when you're doing this, one thing to remember, on your postcard, typically what you're going to see is you're going to have something already printed on the front. So we're not doing anything on the front. You're going to have something printed on this half of a postcard. So all of this space over here should already have something. We just want to do the addresses. Our machines can't print like a full-blown postcard from blank. So like this to print, you can get them done. The front's done, and this half is done. We just basically need to do the address side. So from here, it is the same. You're going to click wherever you want it to go. I also sometimes, or a lot of times, will do a text box where I want it, just so I know exactly where it's going to go. But the next process is just like we did the labels. We just no longer select the labels part. We're going to do mailings, start a mail merge. And again, for this part here, we don't need to worry about it. We're just going straight to the recipient list because we already have our data here. So we're going to hit use existing list, documents, Wayne mailing list. And now I do insert merge field, first name, space, last name, enter, mailing address 1, enter, mailing address 3. And again, if you like, for this one, I'll leave the spacing alone so you guys can see it that way. Oops.
You only have to see your results if
Okay.
you're not doing labels.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
And so now I have an address on my postcard template. And then I hit the next one, there's the next one, next one, next one, next one, next one. Now I would hit print, I would have my postcards in the printer, and boom, it would just run them through.
And when you do print on here, you don't want to go to file print where it says finish and merge.
Yeah, you want to use finish and merge and print documents there.
And then I always do it too, just because the printing of the postage can sometimes go a little lower. I always like to put the text a little bit lower than halfway through.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
what Tom is saying is move this down a little bit. And then again, you guys have the ability to play with the font size, all of that stuff. Bold, not bold, underlined, whatever. I know like for Lawando, we've also done something where we printed something along the lines of down here.
So if you put that on there, it'll come on every one, even though you're not.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and also guys, if you're using a text box, make sure you take that outline and you hit no outline. That way you don't have a black box around your text box. Make it look nice and pretty.
And do you want to go to canva.com real quick?
Yeah, I'm going to talk a couple things on this. When you do this the first time, please call me or Tom. We will hold your hand through it and whatnot and make sure that it's all done right before you start printing onto your postcards that you spent money on. Also, if you've got 500 postcards and you want to print them, just realize that machine gets used by all. So doing it in the middle of the day when everybody's trying to print, you're going to drive your coworkers absolutely insane. So you may want to do it first thing in the morning, later in the afternoon towards the end of the day. But smack dab in the middle of the day when everybody's trying to print, you're probably going to make enemies, not friends here by doing that. So I don't recommend doing that. If you're in the middle of a print and somebody walks up and they're like, man, I really need this, get Tom or myself. We can pause your job, get the other one to print, and then get back to your job without a problem. Any questions on how this process was just done? I know it's a lot. It was in-depth techie stuff, but we did record this meeting, so you'll have all of this again. But once you do it a few times, it does become pretty straightforward, and you have the ability to kind of play with it, customize it, and all of that. So we're going to hop over to Canva real quick. Tom wants to show us some things.
Hey, Wayne,
Yes.
It should be
are
logged
you
in.
going to talk at all about if you need to export that mailing list to Vistaprint or somebody else? And I wonder, I've not done this, but I wonder if I exported it to a local mailing house like Lordco or something, I bet they could probably put the labels on and mail things. A couple different options.
Correct. Skylar uses, what's the printing company? FGE printing, and they do all of that. So my one thing, and I can show you, I don't have a problem, but whatever website company here, Tom, you can sit down real quick. That you're on, Vistaprint has a template of what they want it to be, the columns that they need. So the biggest thing is making sure that your columns are correct to whatever company or website you are using. The way that it defaults from the property appraisers, my mailing list that I just showed you guys, that may not be the order that Vistaprint wants it in. They may want first name first, middle one, last name, mailing address all together, then city, you just got to follow their format. And most of the websites that I've seen, they have a template that you can click on and it'll tell you exactly how they want it. So the big thing is just organizing your columns into the correct way for the website.
And Vistaprint specifically, they have like a first name and last name that's required. If you ever have an LLC, just take that out and put it in company name, and then you don't have to, spit it out. Instead of just having city, state, zip, you have to do city in one, state in another, zip in another. So if you have, again, that all together, you would use the same text to columns and spit it out. And then just double check, for instance, Inverness is only one, so, that's going to be in the city. But if you have Crystal River, Florida, then everything will spit out one further, if that makes sense, and you kind of have to condense it back down. So if you do it through Vistaprint directly, it is a little bit of a process to get it done. But they have like their specific way that you have to import it, and then they actually, if they find any errors or duplicates, they take them out for you as well.
Hey, Wayne,
What
could
I've
I
been doing. Oh,
been
sorry,
on
go
the
ahead, Judy.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say I've used Vistaprint quite a bit, and I often will jump into their chat because they're very helpful. I think they have just a few people. They always have to like get you over to their mailing services, but they're super helpful and they will stay with you, through the whole process. And just one other caveat, I thought that I could use them to mail Christmas cards, and all they will actually mail is postcards, but they will print your envelopes if you send them the mailing list. So what they did is they shipped me the envelopes and the postcards. So, but they're great the Christmas cards. They're great for postcards.
Yeah, the biggest thing you got to remember is Vistaprint doesn't fold and stuff envelopes or postcard, like your small cards into envelopes. Their machine, they don't have the machines to do that, and I don't think they want to. So that's where you're gonna basically draw your line in the sand with Vistaprint. You can order the card and the envelope from them, but they're gonna come to you. You have to stuff it and then mail it out.
What I've been doing a lot, Justine recently did a few. She did a 5x7 and a 4x6. I don't want to do a lot of full color printing because it doesn't come in great, but just her picture here is nice. And then just keep everything else white and black. Then you download it. Again, this one is 5x7 already. And then when I go in my Word, for those of you who want to get, savvy and make it look pretty, then I would take that picture that I just downloaded and I would just make sure that I can move it freely by putting it behind the text or in front of it. And then again, you can kind of play with it and just put it right here. And then you can kind of notice that right here, this thing still has a background. So I want to do shape fill, no fill. And then from there, I can, again, move this as well. And now, come on. And then now I can make it look a little prettier so that, whenever it sends out and you can look at all the different ones, it'll kind of look like this on all of them. And so, again, it's nothing crazy, but you have enough to put, a little testimonial, your information, who you're sending it to, and then still have plenty of space up here to get that big red postage stamp on there from the postage machine here. So that's kind of what I just wanted to show.
Yeah. And my recommendation, I personally would design my postcard on Vistaprint and have this left-hand side also put on it.
Yeah.
It's just going to look, I mean, our machines are good, but they're not postcard good. So if you want a sharp, good-looking postcard, have this on the back side of your Vistaprint postcard design or wherever you're designing your postcard already, and then just use our printer to put the mailing address.
Good.
And again, you can put lines. You don't have to put lines. That's totally up to you guys.
Yeah.
That's just an added thing.
I would recommend not putting lines on the right side because then when you print, you have to figure it out exactly. Like if you want to use our office to put the, what's it called on there, the addresses, I would recommend getting this onto Word because otherwise you have to make sure it lines up perfectly when you print it. And I did that for, I think, Ryan once, and I literally had to use the same postcard 20 times and literally go back and just do this and then a tiny bit of this and then a tiny bit of that. And then so, I would recommend just getting the left side. I also, through this, I would never recommend doing anything other than a white background. But for instance, if you do it directly through Vistaprint, I'm sure I can find one. I'm sure I have Judy's $1 million one somewhere.
Bless you.
There it is. So, for instance, on Vistaprint, you can make the back look like really good. You can change your picture. I just change this to a standard template, but that way this still looks really good when you print it out on Vistaprint. But if you were to do this on our postcard, first of all, your edges would still be white, and the colors here would just not come out well. So, like if you want to do a full color back print, I would recommend using Vistaprint still. So.
Yeah, we're gonna get a lot of bleed and whatnot here, and the white edges are gonna. I mean, personally, I think it looks bad. So remember, our machines are gonna be simple. If you want something elegant and nice, this is elegant and nice too. I don't want to say that, but if you want something with color and a lot more in depth, then please use Vistaprint or another company like that to make and design the whole thing. Our machines don't love running postcards, thickness and whatnot, and that's another thing. When you print them for the first time, you have to get that thickness. You have to tell the machine the thickness right, or else it's going to give you an error every time and say, no, we don't recognize the paper. So a little bit involved there, and that's why I said the first time you guys do this yourself, we'll make sure to hold your hand through it. Any questions on the postcard / labels? Okay, full circle here. Why am I showing you guys this? Well, I know the holidays are about to start, but according to Jim Morton and Real Estate Fact, what are the 2 things you have to do to be successful in real estate?
Prospect and present.
Prospect and present. I just showed you guys how to do what?
Prospect.
Prospect. Now, is sending postcard passive or active prospecting?
Passive.
Tom, stop stealing everybody's answers. Okay, you're an employee here.
I already knew that.
Yeah, it's passive prospecting. So here's what I don't want you guys to have the mentality or the habit of. I just sent 500 postcards. And for those of you online, I just put my feet up on a desk and close my eyes. What is our percentage return rate on postcards? Tom, you can answer this one.
About 1%?
Yeah, it's about 1%, maybe 2%. If you got a really good postcard. If your postcard says $1 million, it might have a 2% return. But with that being said, don't do that. Sit in your chair and expect, I got enough business for the next year because I sent out my 500 postcards and they're all going to get back to me. So it is one avenue of prospecting, but again, it is passive. I'm going to call Jenny out because I'm very proud of her for doing this. She called me yesterday. She was driving around. Said, hey, I saw for sale by owner, vacant land. How do I go about this? So, Jen is new in the business, but she's out canvassing, right? She saw a sign, she got the person's phone number, and she said, I'm going to figure out how to call this guy and work it. So she called me and said, hey, what do you say? How do you do it? And, so on and so forth. Kind of explained my methods. But that is actively prospecting. When you guys are driving around and you keep driving by the same house and the grass is this long in the yard and whatnot, maybe hop on property appraisers, find out who it is and why that grass is so long and whatnot. Give them a call. If you have friends or family that are looking for something and they can't seem to find it, Tom and I have sent letters for friends and family because they couldn't find things, and we've had mixed results. Some people answer, some people don't. But you send a letter that says, hey, I have a buyer that is very interested in your property at blah, 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 blah. They're, ready to purchase. Please let me know if you're interested in selling. Leave a phone number, and a business card in there. Mail that off. See what happens.
I went full stalker on one, and I found the grandson of one person on Facebook, and I sent them a message. And 4 months later, they finally responded, and I got the phone number. So, there's an opportunity out there. You just have to.
Tom's first week, I made him speak German to some guy. We tracked down the German restaurant and called it, and we got the guy. Nothing ever happened to that one. But again, there's so many different ways to prospect. I want you guys to be thinking about that. Expired listings are now becoming a more common theme. For those of you that have only been in the real estate industry for 3 years or less now, you guys are like, what are expireds? I've never seen that before. Well, it's a great place to get more listings. It expired for a reason. What is the reason 90% of the time?
Didn't sell.
Price, right? But 90% of the time, what does the seller not want to hear?
Drop the price.
Right. You priced too high, so I didn't sell. So you got to get a little bit creative. You got to be able to work the angles. One thing I told Jen yesterday when we talked to, when you guys are calling for sale by owners, when you guys are calling expired listings, if your mentality is like, I'm going to get the listing first time I talk to this human being, you're dead wrong. Like, get that mentality out. That's not how this works. Again, start a relationship, ask some questions. For sale by owners, ask them, how's it going? Are you getting any activity? Again, we know right now with the market changing, for sale by owners are going to be the first ones that are affected because they don't have the same marketing power and capabilities that we do. They put it on one online website and they think that's all I have to do. They may or may not throw a sign in the yard. Horrible pictures, no postcards, none of that stuff. So you just ask them, how's it going? Are you getting any activity? Yeah, I'm just really tired of these people that say they can buy it and then they don't follow through. Now we have a good talking point. We, as a real estate brokerage, will pre-qualify and make sure these buyers are vetted before they get to your front door. Again, check that box. You heard that complaint. Now you need to have an answer for it. A lot of them right now are saying, I don't want to pay a commission, right? Time and time again, I don't want to pay a commission. I don't want to pay a commission. A couple of different avenues to go on that route. My one is, again, if you truly think it's a good listing to have, say, hey, we'll add my commission to the list price. If it's a $250,000 listing and our commission is 6%, we're going to add the $8,000 commission to the $250 and say, we'll list it at $258. Add that number. Get that conversation away. If they're so stuck on, we don't want to pay a commission, say, we can get you more money than what you got it listed for anyway, and that'll cover the commission. I've heard things like, I don't want to do a 6-month commitment. My answer is pretty much straightforward on that one. If you're not happy with what I'm doing, you can cancel anytime. Again, if I can't get the job done, why are we going to both be in this relationship? That's a pretty straightforward one. Trying to think of what else. You guys had any other ones dealing with for sale by owners or expireds that you need help with? No? Are you guys calling for sale by owners and expireds currently?
A lot.
Yeah, I was going to say, Josh, how many listings have you gotten in since you started? I mean, you picked up what?
6, 7.
Where are the majority of them from?
For sale by owner.
Yeah. So, and how long have you been licensed?
3 months.
3 months, 6 listings, for sale by owners. Right? That I mean, he's brand new. Like he's going out there and doing it and just trying it. And again, hats off to you. Now, some of them are vacant land. Again, there's no bias here. And also, you never know, the guy that wants to sell his vacant land first may have a $500,000 house that he wants to sell after that. You got to prove to him that you're worth it with the vacant land one to get to the house. But also, you want that person to be a walking, talking billboard for you. Again, referral business. 3 years in, your guys' phone should be ringing constantly for referral business. And this is how you generate that. Lindsay, were you going to say something? Okay, I thought you kind of half raised your hand. Again, expireds. My biggest question that I ask on expireds is, why do you think it didn't sell? That would be my number one question to an expired listing. And again, let them vent and talk all the crap about realtors that they want to. Just be a punching bag there.
Yeah.
I will guarantee you 90% of it is, well, my agent listed this thing and I never heard from them again.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
That is across the board, nationwide, probably worldwide, the number one reason when you have an expired listing and that seller is not happy with their agent, it's because there was communication. Now, here's my thought on that. If you know you're taking an overpriced listing and you know it's going to be difficult to sell, you should have even more communication with the seller than if it's a normal good price. Because if it's a normal good price, what's probably going to happen?
You're going to have a lot of activity.
Right.
You're going to have to call.
It's an easy conversation. Hey, we got a showing. Hey, we got another showing. Hey, we got an offer. Hey, we got another offer. Hey, we got to counter this one. Hey. Lots of hays.
Yeah.
When you have an overpriced listing, you don't get to do that. So now you have to have your talking points ready to go. So for me, if it's overpriced, first 2 weeks, very, very important. That's my test window right now. And again, I don't even like saying test the market anymore because we know the market is now peaked and going the other way. So this test the market idea is not a great idea regardless. But I don't want you guys to lose the listing. So if we're going to test the market, 2 weeks max. That 2 week mark, I'm going to make sure, once I list, I'm going to make sure Golden Ruler is in there so they get the reports. They know Zillow, Realtor, Century 21 activity. We're going to go on Zillow and we're going to say, hey, you've got 5 saves and 100 views. I've got 0 phone calls in 2 weeks. People are seeing it online. I can show that to you, with Golden Ruler, but nobody's calling me to see it. So we need to work on that price. We gave it a shot. We did our marketing. It went into the newspaper. We did our postcards. We got our pictures. We've done the first part of our job. Price did not reflect what this market is. So now we need to have this conversation of let's bring it down some. If you don't have any communication and you don't have any evidence and the first words out of your mouth are, we need to reduce the price, you're battling your customer there. Because they're going to look at it as like, well, why do I have to give up stuff? I don't even know what you've done, Josh. Have you done anything to warrant a price drop yet? So again, these are all times you want to have that conversation. When your postcards go out, let the seller know, hey, your postcards went out. When you get it in the home front, send that proof that Doreen sends out. Send that proof to your customer. Say, hey, look, here's the ad in the newspaper for your house. When you're doing an open house, make sure they see the open house ad. Anything like that. Any communication points that you can do is going to be your best friend when you have that listing that's priced more than you want it to be. And that, when you do all of that, when you hit the conversation of time to reduce price, it's a lot easier for them to say, all right, fine, let's reduce it, versus battling it out because they don't know what you've done. So, good on prospecting expireds. We have access to Stellar MLS, so another good prospect, and you guys can ask me, hey Wayne, give me the list of Inverness expireds from Stellar MLS. So again, these were listings that were not in our MLS, but only in Stellar. You can do a little cross-referencing. And then again, your conversation with that expired listing is, well, you were in Stellar MLS, which is a great MLS to be in. However, you weren't in the local one here. So the realtors that are here locally, working here locally, may not have access to that, never were able to send your listing to their buyers that they have. That's a pretty strong argument for them to understand, wow, I listed with the wrong person. Maybe I should give Josh a shot, Rachel a shot, whoever's having this conversation. Right? So keep that in mind. Pictures. I love finding a listing that's expired that has cell phone pictures. I mean, that's, to me, the easiest one, because I can turn around, pull it up on my phone or on a computer if I'm in front of the customer and say, this is how the customer sees your home for the first time. They don't see your beautiful green grass, your, newly painted house, whatever. They see this pixelated, turned sideways, thumb in the picture, date on the bottom of it from 2 years ago picture. Like, that's what they see for the first time. Why are they supposed to fall in love with that? So again, bad pictures are always a great conversation for me. I enjoy that one. If you guys are going after acreage and there's no drone photography, again, it's hard to, when you just read it's 5.6 acres, and you don't get to visualize that in any map form or drone shot, that's hard to grasp. So again, I say we have professional drone shots that we can get done with estimated lot lines, things like that. That's my spiel for today. Any other questions? Let me check the chat online real quick. I just want you guys to gear up. How many would it cost to do a repeat mailing of the same 25? Well, Judy, if you're talking about express stocks to do 25 again, it would be the same price, $24.83.
Okay, I was thinking that the 25 that we send out. Okay, so that is what it is.
Correct.
Okay.
The more you send out, the lower the price per card is. We just give you, our amount is $24.83 that we will credit you, quote unquote, if you do your own instead of having us do it. So it's $24.83 for 25. I'm using a random number here, but if you do 50, it might be $42. It's not a direct double, triple, quadruple concept.
Okay.
The more you buy, the less it is.
Thanks.
And then for info Exxon word do not display on the sharing screen. We get some kind of wall. I apologize. You guys didn't see
That whole thing.
the word in the Excel. That's unfortunate. Well, it's a good voice video. Get to listen to my beautiful voice.
I don't know if maybe there's a firewall. Hey, what did you and when you record it or when you send it out, is it possible for you to edit the title of the recording?
Yep. Yeah, we can call it whatever we want.
Okay. Yeah,
yeah, we'll call it the direct mail how-to.
Because I bet we'll go back to this one a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna watch it first and see how bad the not having Excel and Word on there. We might have to just redo this one in a short 10-minute blip. And I think we have, Tom. I thought we've done that before. We screen recorded how to do it. But regardless, we'll have it done. So, big thing that I wanted to talk about with all of this stuff, again, the market has changed. If you guys are not prospecting and you guys have been able to get business, awesome. I'm here to let you know that that ship is sailing, and it's sailing pretty fast. So if you want to make a career in real estate, start prospecting. And prospecting, guys, is an everyday thing. The more you prospect, the more real estate business you're going to have. And it's a roller coaster, guys. You're going to learn this. The highs are high and they're great, and the lows are pretty darn low and they're scary. All I can tell you is what I've been able to see is you prospect a lot, you get your listings or your buyers, and you get real busy, and the first thing that stops happening is prospecting during that time, right? But you've got business ready and everything seems great. That business closes, and remember, our deals are 30 to 45 days, so you didn't prospect while you're working those deals. Now you hit the low. Because you didn't prospect, you have nothing new coming in. Now you start prospecting again, and you get back on the rise, and then you get busy servicing those customers. You stop prospecting, you get those under contract, and you dip again. So it is a roller coaster. How do you manage that? Keep prospecting, right? We've done time blocking classes before. Again, I personally think mornings is when I would do my prospecting better than anything. Ryan has been successful because every morning he still prospects. He's a pen and paper guy. He's got his sheet. He calls for sale by owners continuously. It's not a one and done concept. Call them once, say, all right, well, I'll reach back out to you in a week or two, see how it's going. That's the idea that you've got to get in your head. It's not a one and done concept. Alrighty, guys. Well, and also remember, call sheets on my desk. So if you have no idea who to prospect, I literally have, I don't know how many names per sheet there are, 30, 35 names per sheet sitting on my desk. So you always have that resource at your disposal. There's a good stack of them right now, so I don't think we're going to run out anytime soon. We will next year get call competitions going again. For those of you that don't know, I'll typically buy, I don't know, a $25 Amazon gift card, and we'll do a 30-minute prospecting session. Whoever calls the most people or talks to the most people wins the gift card. Pretty simple, straightforward. Talk about anything you want. I encourage it to be real estate because it's better than a $25 Amazon gift card when you get a buyer or a seller. But teach their own. So we'll get back on that train. We'll get that going again. But the big thing, guys, for this next year that I want to hit hard and make sure you understand is back into prospecting and active prospecting. Passive is great for, what it is, but it's not going to be what generates more real estate business. So be out there, get in front of people, talk to people about real estate. When you guys go out to eat, if you have a name badge on or something like that, it always helps. I can tell you, Tom has prospected a waitress at Bistro 2 who's told us she's in the market. She didn't like her last realtor. I was at the Bistro 2 and got a buyer that was like a $350,000 buyer that I started working. So again, you never know when and where you can get real estate business, but if you're prospecting, and even just putting a name badge on and going out in public is a form of active prospecting. It can help you out. All
Hey,
right.
Wayne.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
I was thinking maybe as a follow-up after the new year, if you did like prospecting, let's say a deeper dive, like now you've done your postcards, and as you said, now you don't sit up and put your feet up, but then, okay, you've got your list of postcards. Now you want to call the people that you mailed the postcards to. So how you
Right.
get those phone numbers and, kind of the next 3 steps after that. So you are doing it, you're following.
Yeah, we'll have a white page account class. I'll probably merge that into something else because it won't be a whole hour. But yeah, we'll have a white page class so you can see how to look up phone numbers. We'll talk about the phone conversation. The other thing I'm working on, Century 21 has revamped and renamed what I know as the Accelerate class, which is a class I taught a couple years ago in here. And it has, like, during the class, you will actively be calling people and prospecting. I think it's a really good tool, and we can also make it into a competition and see, who does the best throughout the time frame of the class. But that's something I'm waiting for them to release the new and improved version, but we'll probably end up having that class in 2023 as well, that I will teach you guys. So lots of good stuff to look forward to.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.